What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 9 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Like I said last time, we are going to be doing pretty much a mix of Series 9 and 10 until the end of the season. There are a bunch of Pokemon that I really do want to try out in Series 9 before the month ends, so hopefully we can get through all of them. I think at this point there's like two more teams that I want to build that I think are going to be a lot of fun to try out, just like some silly kind of joke stuff. So hopefully we can end with those, and given how close we are, like we're wrapping things up. But this is a team that I really wanted to try. I saw it on Cybertron's channel, and Regidrago and Regirock are two Pokemon that I've really wanted to play with for a while. So this is a team built by Kamel and Miguel. I think we've featured a team of Miguel's before, but as you can see, it is a triple Regi team with the idea that each one of these Regis offers a lot. And it's like we have a pretty standard weakness policy Regirock. We have a very offensive Regidrago with the idea that, hey, if your opponent doesn't have any fairies, you can get really big hits into them. Regieleki is a mix set, which I thought is really cool, where it has Bounce, as well as Thunderbolt and Electroweb. We do have Indeedee for redirection. Sorry, I have really bad acid reflux. We do have Zapdos. Galarian Zapdos is a really fun Pokemon to use, and something I feel like I haven't used nearly as much as I would have liked to, so I'm glad that we can play with this Assault Vest variant. And finally, there is the kind of the shocker factor of the team, is this Slowpoke. And I think Slowpoke is a really cool choice because of the fact that, one, it can set up Trick Room for this Regidrago, or this Regirock, as well as Proc Policy. With Surf, it also has Heal Pulse and Yawn, and with Oblivious, you cannot be taunted, and you have the huge fact that it's so slow and gets this huge boost from a Violite. So as you can see, the rental is included, and yeah, let's just kind of hop right into the first battle. Alright, battle number 1, and it is a Grimmsnarl, Hydreigon, Incineroar with Kartana, Ninetales, and a Nihilego. So, this is a little tricky. I think, this is hard, right? Because I do like Galarian Zapdos a lot. I think Galarian Zapdos just does a really good job into this team, as does Regirock. I'm just trying to think of... It's hard to guarantee screens because of the Kartana. I could do Indeedee. That's still risky. I'm going to do Zapdos with Regieleki with the idea that I do pressure immediately with speed control. I do want to bring Regidrago in the back. I think also that Zapdos having an Assault Vest will really come in handy here. And then, I guess what? Regidrago doesn't really do too much, in my opinion. Indeedee doesn't really either. Neither does Slowpoke. I'm going to go with Regidrago. I think just with the consistency of being able to hit really large dragon attacks, and obviously they have nothing that resists, can come in handy. So what I'm really hoping for is an Incineroar lead, just to trigger Defiant on Zapdos and then use speed control to my advantage. The big fear obviously is going to be this Ninetales, as we are going to see a Grimmsnarl with Hydreigon. So there's a lot of stuff my opponent can do this first turn, right? They do have access to a lot of different options. I can just go for a Max Quake or a Max Knuckle or a Max Quake. I do like Max Knuckle just right off the bat in a Hydreigon with an Electroweb, just trying to get speed control. Or I'm gonna Quake the Hydreigon. They don't have anything that can take it. And what I'm thinking is getting the special defense boost will be huge. We are going to see Hydreigon switch out, as they are going to bring out Ninetales. So this is good for us, right? Because we are, we would have been fine either way. But the idea is I just want to get some pressure onto this Ninetales as soon as possible. And what's nice too is we have Blaze Kick, so we can Max Flare the subsequent turn in the event that they want to either go for something like a Blizzard, which obviously we can't we can reduce the accuracy, but if we can stop an Aurora Veil, I think we'll be in a really good place overall. So let's kind of see. The Zapdos is fairly bulky and a little bit slow, as we see the trick come out from Grimmsnarl. So that's really good that they targeted Alecki, as we are going to get a full Incense there and give them a Life Orb. And I'm honestly okay with that happening. Missing on the Ninetales was really, really crucial, because this means that Ninetales will unfortunately outspeed Zapdos this subsequent turn. As yeah, this because now they have Hail Up, and so they do have the ability to go for something like the Aurora Veil, or for something like a Blizzard. We do have +1, so I could go for a Flare. I think yeah, it should be within range where an Airstream will finish it off, which I think is really important. And I think we should just go for a Thunderbolt into Grimmsnarl. And so now what I'm hoping is with this, yeah, they do get the Aurora Veil off, but we will get the Speed Boost off, which I think in the long term is going to be very beneficial. We are seeing no screens from the Grimmsnarl, which suggests to me that it might not have it, as they're probably going to go for a Spirit Break, which I'm guessing into Zapdos, which not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but also, yeah, we are going to see the Spirit Break come out a little bit more than I would have liked it to do. But we do get the Defiant boost, right? Because yeah, Spirit Break does guarantee an attack drop, as we are going to see the Life Orb putting in work as we do get off this Thunderbolt. But unfortunately, through the Aurora Veil, the Grimmsnarl will be able to live. So we know that there's a Hydreigon in the back, we know that we're faster, and we know that we're at +2. So even I think through something like through the Aurora Veil, we should have a good amount of damage. What's nice is we also do have Regidrago in the back, so we're not in the worst position. As we do see, yep, the Hydreigon is going to come out again. I want to Quake. I could just Knuckle. Actually, okay, so I'm going to... Do I expect them to target into Alecki? Because what I'm thinking is swap out Alecki for Drago to get Drago with the speed boost. This is a +2 Knuckle. I'm going to Quake into Grimmsnarl in the event that they go for a max guard and go for an Electroweb, right? Because I want to stop the additional damage from the Spirit Break, because it did do a lot, as we are going to see the Hydreigon max. And so yeah, what I'm most worried about now is Hydreigon going for a max guard with the idea of stalling out my last turn. And so what I'm thinking is we can guaranteed get the special defense boost onto this Grimmsnarl, and then we should be in a really good place to survive a hit. And if we can get a speed drop onto Hydreigon, yeah, so we are gonna. So this was the right call. Definitely high risk, but I mean I don't think it was high risk, right? Because I was gonna get to +2 either way. Hydreigon is just going to waste a turn of its max, and now we know that they cannot protect this I mean, they can protect, but they have a chance of failing protect. We are going to be able to go for close combat, which is going to do more damage than the max Knuckle. So while we do not get the attack boost, which I would have liked, we do have +2 special defense. So hopefully, we probably can't take a hit at this range, but we are, I think, in a really good position. We still do have Regidrago in the back, as we do see their final slot is going to be this Kartana. So Kartana, what is... I could Blaze Kick into the Kartana just to guarantee the knockout. I'm going to Blaze Kick and go for an Electroweb. I think this is really risky. I don't want to go for the close combat, given that they have the Aurora Veil. And so what I'm thinking is, yeah, we pick up the knockout onto the Kartana just to stop it from getting a ton of damage. And then we do see, unfortunately, they are going to Quake into the Regirocky, which will pick up the knockout. But at this point, it is Hydration versus something that has a +2 super effective hit into it, and it only has 1 turn of max left, right? And so unfortunately, this battle is going to end in a disconnect, which I think is really unfortunate, right? I think there was still a lot of stuff that could happen, but I did think we did have this in the bag, particularly given the fact that they only have 1 turn of max left, and we could have brought in something like Regidrago. So great first game, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to game number 2. All right, battle number 2. And so this is an interesting one, right? Because this is also a huge potential for Trick Room from my opponent, because they have Glastrier, Indeedee, a Regidrago of their own, a Rillaboom, a, what is it called? A Regieleki, and Dusclops. So, Regirock I think is really big. Do we have a way to... No, I was going to say, do we have something like an Iron Head? Their Regieleki does scare me, which makes me a little hesitant to bring something like Slowpoke. I'm going to do Regirock and Indeedee with Slowpoke in the back, and then what? Zapdos has a lot to worry about. Yeah, there's like no good option, especially if they get Trick Room up. I'm going to go with Regidrago. Is Regidrago worth bringing? I do like Zapdos. I'm going to bring Drago. Let's have some fun with it. I think Zapdos is probably the better call. Zapdos does have a good matchup into Rillaboom, and can help deal with some threats. But I think Regidrago is honestly kind of fine. It'll be fun. I hope we don't end up needing to rely on it too heavily. But yeah, let's kind of see. I like the Marnie outfit. I think that's always fun. As we are going to see an Indeedee Dusclops. Okay, so this is interesting, right? Because at this point, my opponent has the ability to go for a Trick Room, and I could reverse the Trick Room, which is honestly, it's like this weird mind game, right? Like, do I reverse their Trick Room? Do I not? They know I have Weakness Policy, and they're going to see Focus Sash. So now I really wish that I had brought... I do have Slowpoke. So what I can do is... Rock Slide for the flinch. What is Slowpoke's speed? Slowpoke has a speed of... Wow, that is dirt slow. I'm going to swap into Slowpoke. Right? And so what I'm thinking is try and get the flinch with the Regirock, because I don't need to commit to max quite yet. And because I want to try and match... If they bring out Glastrier, I want to try and match the maxes of Glastrier. And so this is, yeah, and I guess like what I'm actually more afraid of, right, is if we bring out Slowpoke now, we want to be able to not only, we want to figure out how we can reverse the Trick Room and trigger this policy. As we are going to see, yep, the Follow Me come out. I think that is pretty expected, as a big Rock Slide is going to come out. The flinch, I don't think is necessary. But it would be really nice, as they are going to set up the Trick Room. So this is good for us, right? Because we can now go for a really safe max Rockfall onto... I want to go for Dusclops as well as a Surf. Right? And so I guess the big question now is, what is Dusclops' support move? Because what I expect it to have, we saw Trick Room, most likely Nightshade, most likely Pain Split. I want to say it has Brick Break, just in the event that you can trigger a Glastrier policy. So I'm banking on that, because if it has Will-O-Wisp, this is a little bit of a tricky situation, because we can't just go for like Follow Me with our own Indeedee, as we are going to be able to Surf, which we do take really well, and we can just go for a Rockfall, hoping to pick up a KO onto their Dusclops, because that is actually what I'm more scared of. As we do see Nightshade, which is fine, we do have ways to recover, And now we are going to be able to get the Sandstorm up, so I expect... that is really tricky. I would have loved a KO there. Yeah, as the Expanding Force is going to come out, because now we are going to have to use another turn of our max. That is going to let them set up effectively. But what we can do is we can... I want to Rockfall into the Indeedee to pick up that knockout and go for... I want to reverse the Trick Room. Just with the idea that if we bring out their Glastrier, I want to be able to go for... Oh, they have Haze Dusclops. Oh, very cool. I like that a lot. We are going to still be able to get this Rockfall off, so this means that this Indeedee is probably... Oh, I was going to say, this Indeedee is probably going to live. The Indeedee is not. Haze, I think, is really cool tech. I have run Haze on Dusclops before, so this suggests to me what? Probably Assault Vest on Glastrier, as the Dusclops is going to go down, so this is great, right? So they're probably going to bring out Glastrier next to something, and so what we have the option of doing is we can Heal Pulse all of the damage that Regirock is going to take, because I do expect... Okay, so we're going to see Drago. Drago's a little scary. Like, I have to get damage onto Regidrago. What is the speed on our Regidrago? Our Regidrago has max speed and is timid. So actually, I'm going to Rockfall onto Glastrier. And I'm going to Heal Pulse. Or I could Yawn. I'm going to Heal Pulse onto our Regirock. This is a little bit tricky. But what I'm thinking... So we are going to have to, unfortunately, take a big hit from this Glastrier. And so what I'm thinking is... there is the argument that I should have Yawned. But what I'm thinking now is... we can bring out... I'm guessing... Well, what? Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm guessing if they have a lot of Trick Room stuff, we are going to see a... Okay, cool. We do live. That's great. I'm guessing they do have a slower Regidrago. So, while... Ooh, we get a pretty good chip into them, as we are going to, unfortunately, take a Max Quake. And I think that was a really... 123, unfortunately down to 0. So yeah, we should have Yawned in that situation, as we are going to lose both our Pokemon, but we are getting a little bit more chip onto them, and we have our own Regidrago in the back, and we do have redirection from this Indeedee, so we can go for... We could also... we do see... Yeah, fortunately Heal Pulse is not going to target into anything, as we are going to lose our Slowpoke as well. So we probably should have gone for a Yawn. Yawn into Glastrier would have been huge. But we are going to be able to bring out our Indeedee next to our Regidrago. And so what I'm thinking is... we could Dragon Energy... I want to Dragon Energy follow me. I expect to be faster than their Regidrago. And so what I'm thinking is we should be able to pick up the knockout onto their Regidrago, because it's a full HP, what is it called? Dragon Energy. We are going to see the Protect from them. I think that's fine. The redirection, I think, is going to be huge, because what that means is even if Glastrier lives this hit, we should be able to pick it up with one more. And then, especially now that it's single target, we are guaranteed to live as... Whew, that did not as much as I would have liked. Indeedee, yeah, it's going to go down. I'm guessing the target for that was going to be Regidrago. We are unfortunately going to lose Indeedee to this Hail Chip. But, I mean, Glastrier is so low, and that was... Oh, it has one more turn. It has one more turn of max. We are losing a little bit of HP, so our Dragon Energy will not be as strong. So I don't actually know if they're in range. Oh no, that was Psychic. I was like, Misty Terrain. Just kidding. Yeah, they have one turn of max left, so that puts us in a really awkward spot, as now we have to go for Dragon Energy. But like I said, I assume we're faster. We should pick up the knockout onto their Regidrago, and the question is, it's so low, but at the same time, the last turn was split damage, as it looks like that Glastrier is hanging on with 1 HP, and we unfortunately are not going to be living this Max Hailstorm, so they are going to go down to chip from Life Orb, but given how the way the thing works, they are going to unfortunately pick up the win for this one. So that one's really unfortunate. We should have yawned with Slowpoke, because if we had gone for the yawn, we would have been able to put their Regidrago to sleep, and then, the Regidrago, their Glastrier to sleep, and then we would have been able to stall at the turns, whereas now we're in this position where, unfortunately, they lived on 1 HP. But, it was close, and I think that I did expect Regirock to live when I probably should not have, but, it's fine. This is part of the game, and yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, game number 3. Why do I always end with Chansey Shuckle? It is Indeedee with Liepard, so it's Indeedee Liepard, Chansey Shuckle with a, what is it called? A Celesteela and Pyukumuku. So I feel like, I have to bring Regirock, I have to bring Slowpoke. I unfortunately don't have Taunt on this team. I want Zapdos. I think having access to something like, what is it called? Close Combat is really huge. And then Indeedee's kind of cheeky if I redirect. Indeedee is kind of cheeky if I can redirect some of Chansey's attacks. Follow me. Helping Hand is nice. I think I have to go for Indeedee. I think this is just really awkward, because figuring out how to utilize my max, I think, is going to be really important, right? Because I need to use the accuracy potentially to deal with Chansey, but at the same time, like, staring down a G-Max Hatterene is not a fun thing, as we are gonna see Liepard with this Hatterene, and so I do expect to see the pretty standard Copycat Protect. I really wish I had Ally Switch. I don't have any. I should have done Indeedee, because it would have redirected to Follow Me. I could Knuckle, I could Rockfall. I could just Drain Punch. I'm gonna Drain Punch, and I'm gonna try and reverse the Trick Room, because I do expect to see the Max Guard Copycat, and so what I'm hoping is, if we can reverse that, we can set up for a really good position. The thing though is, if my opponent reads into that, we are in a really bad spot, right? Because then I'm guessing we'll get a Max Mindstorm off, but at the same time we still will have our max. So let's see. Oh, it looks like we are going to see a Fake Out come out. So that's really bad. We are also not going to get a knockout onto this Liepard, because it has a Focus Sash. As we do see, the Max Mindstorm onto Regirock. We do live, but that's really not saying much. We are going to see the Life Orb. This game is kind of a throw. We are, okay, so we are faster than... We saw the Mindstorm. I'm going to switch to Indeedee and go for a Yawn on the Hatterene. Right, because we saw... So what I'm hoping is if we get another Mindstorm, given the fact that it's Hatterene, it doesn't have the Fairy. It doesn't have Starfall. As we are going to see a Copycat come out. And Copycat copies Expanding Force. Oh, yes, and because of Indeedee switching in, it doesn't matter. We are going to see the Starfall, unfortunately, go into Slowpoke, which, not what I would have liked, but we are going to be able to Yawn onto this Hatterene, this, what is it called? Oh, just kidding. It has Magic Bounce. I totally know how this game works. That wasn't supposed to happen. So at this point, we Hyper Voice here. And I want to swap out into Zapdos. I need to create a situation in which I can heal Regirock using Zapdos. Or, I mean, I do have Yawn. Hyper Voice, I do need to get rid of Liepard. I think it's great that Liepard cannot go for Copycats. I totally forgot how this game works. So let's see. We are going to see the Fake Tears come. How does Fake Tears work on Psychic Terrain? I thought they couldn't do that. Well, okay. So they are going to get... we are going to get rid of one of their things. And luckily... So what? Luckily, we are in the situation where... Yikes. We are in the situation where Zapdos and Indeedee are faster than this Hatterene. Hatterene is about to lose its max. And we do have options, right? So I'm expecting something like a Shuckle to come out here, as we do see. Yep, it is going to be Shuckle. Indeedee does have Follow Me. I mean, not Follow Me. It does have Redirection. So we can Follow Me here and go for an Airstream. Go for an Airstream into... I'm just going to Brave Bird into Hatterene. I can't... Because what I'm afraid of happening is they knock out with Hatterene, and then they do Power Swap onto Zapdos, and then my max move, or my max just gets wasted on them. But we are going to be able to set that up correctly, as we are going to see, unfortunately, an Infestation come out onto Indeedee. So we are going to lose Indeedee, but at the same time, we now have an unmaxed Zapdos, and we do have Slowpoke with Yawn. I could bring out Regirock. Regirock does have Rock Slide, and they're what is it called? They're Blissey. I mean, not they're Blissey. Their Chansey hasn't done anything, so we could Rockfall and Close Combat, which is what I'm actually tempted to do, right? So although we have a really low Regirock, we are going to outspeed, and so I think the ability to get a really guaranteed Close Combat up is going to be huge, and we do get the Rockfall, and so I think this will be a little bit of a tricky position depending on what they do. The big fear, but I don't think this should be an issue, is if Chansey outspeeds Regirock and lives. So it would need to live the Close Combat, as well as... Okay, we're going to see the Endure with the Berry, as we are going to Ally Switch. Okay, we do see an Ally Switch, which is a little bit tricky and really good to know, because if we can pick up one knockout, we should be in a good position. We do about half onto this Shuckle, as we are going to connect with a Rockfall onto Chansey, which should do more than that, but that's fine, right? Because we can probably go for the same thing again. especially if we can isolate the Chansey. I think we want to. I think we're still going to actually go for the original plan, because even if they ally switch, we will pick up the knockout onto the Shuckle, and they'll have wasted a turn with ally switch. So we'll be in a good position because this Chansey isn't getting minimized boosts, and then we can just go for a close combat pretty safely. And we know that the Shuckle has infestation, we know Shuckle is slow, and so I think this is a really good option, right? We are going to see no, what is it called? We are going to see no ally switch, so we do pick up the knockout onto Chansey, and then with that we should, with no endure from the Shuckle, be able to pick up a knockout with the max Rockfall. I think they were going for the berry that procs if you're below a certain amount, but we didn't trigger it due to the fact that we just did not do enough damage. So I'm glad we were able to pull this one through, and I'm glad we were able to use Regirock for it. I think it was a really tricky position overall, especially against that Hatterene, where it put on so much constant pressure, but we were able to really play around it well. And I think one thing that makes the Chansey strategy really difficult is if you... Sorry, I've acid reflux. One thing that makes the strategy really difficult is if you are in a suboptimal position with the two of them, and the fact that we were able to get Shuckle out before Chansey meant that we were able to kind of divide up and deal with it in a much more approachable way, and never really gave them the opportunity to set up. And I think, yeah, even though Regirock was so low, maxing it was the right choice, right? Because if we had gotten a miss, we would have been in a really bad position because we really needed that. So yeah, like I said, plan is to try and cycle with a bunch of teams as we finish the season off. Do some Series 10 stuff as well. There are some tours coming up, particularly one this weekend, so look out for some Series 10 content. But yeah, I love this team. Definitely recommend checking it out if you're looking for something cool to help finish off the season. But until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.